welcome to Burrows Point. So you're gonna have to bear with me. This video is going to be a lot of stream of consciousness. I don't have a script written out. This is just whatever pops up in my mind is what I'm gonna tell you right now. Just bear with me through this. So about a year ago, I made a decision to give up farming, and this is my story. I'm originally from Tuscaloosa area in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I had come into the family farm. It had been in my family for many, many years, and it was mainly a cattle operation. I have another channel here on YouTube where I actually had started to vlog about the farm and what I was doing to get the family farm back into shape. A little bit of background is I had joined the military when I was a young age and had traveled around and was in the military for about 10 years and didn't come back to the family farm pretty much in all that time. I lived out of state after I got out of the military and didn't really have an opportunity to come back and farm it in earnest until fairly recently. Of course, after sitting dormant for so long, there were some things that needed to be fixed, and I had started to work on all of that. This was in 2019-2020 timeframe. So, as everyone knows, the pandemic had come in that point in time, and I was working a full-time job and trying to work on the farm at the same time. The one thing that did help was the telework, but it wasn't a complete solution. So I'll lay out for you my reasons for stopping farming, essentially. First reason would be working both a town job and working off the farm. It's a lot to try to work on the farm and be a family guy and to do all the things that's required for the farm and your full-time job. It was a lot to try and keep up with. So that's perhaps one of the reasons why I got out of it, is because it was too much for me to handle, essentially. My work an office job, which isn't the worst type of job in the world to do this, to do farming on the side, but it's taxing. There's a lot of stuff, and I work a lot of long hours in my day job. So by the time it comes to the farm, I'm pretty much, it's already dark and trying to feed cows and all that stuff. The second reason is shortages due to the pandemic. Again, 2020 timeframe probably was the worst time to really start farming. There was a lot of stuff going on. The markets for cattle, the markets for beef were all screwed up because all the processors were closed. And this was the point in time where a lot of large beef producers out west and some down south started dumping massive amounts of beef onto the market because they basically couldn't sell their cows, couldn't get feed, couldn't get hay, trying to do everything they can to get rid of their stock, which sent the beef prices into a downward spiral and essentially priced a lot of producers out of the market. So that didn't really help things for me in decision making and reaping benefits. Also during that time frame, costs for just about everything, every input into the farming operation, that also skyrocketed. Fertilizer was super high. It was the highest that I've seen in a while. It's diesel fuel was crazy expensive. Every part you needed, parts were hard to come by, even for tractors and trucks and things of that nature. So it was just a really difficult time because of the pandemic to get parts and do all the things that you needed to do. But maybe the largest reason why I gave up farming was not because of a lack of will, because I've always enjoyed working with my hands. I grew up on the farm, and that was a dream of mine. It was to come back, take over the farm, and run it, and live a similar life that I had grown up with. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my cows. I enjoyed working with my hands. I enjoyed every aspect, being outdoors, riding four-wheelers on the farm to do work, all of that stuff. But I think the biggest thing that caused me to give up farming was that I had received a job offer in a completely different area of the state that would not allow me to stay on the farm. I had worked in Montgomery. I was willing to drive 2 hours to commute from the farm to work, had done it for several years. But this opportunity was something that I've always wanted to do, and it ended up being one of those great offers that I couldn't refuse. So I had a decision to make. Do I continue to live on the farm and let this opportunity pass me by? Or do I seize the opportunity and go work in my off-farm job and advance my career? And that's unfortunately a decision that a lot of young farm kids have had to make. Do I stay on the farm? Do I help dad? Do I become the next generation, or do I give up and go elsewhere? So it was a difficult decision, but I think I made the right one. I'm happy where I moved to. I am happy with the decision from a family standpoint. I am happy with the decision from a professional standpoint. I get to grow and learn into my new job, my off-farm job. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. But I don't think this is the end of my farming career. I think that if I can continue on the track that I'm on, and I can eventually find a plot of land somewhere close to where I am now, I think that it's possible that we get another farm, that we start back up again and have cows and whatever other crops I want to grow, or whatever I want to get into agriculture. I don't think that itch will ever really go away. When I was gone all those years living out of state, I certainly never forgot about it. I certainly always wanted to get back into it. So I think this is something that won't go away, and that's going to be with me for pretty much the rest of my life, because that was the way I was brought up. But I think that for now, I'm content to do what I'm doing now and shift gears a little bit. Life always changes, and you have to be flexible with it. So I think it's a goodbye to the family farm, because that's not coming back. But I think it's a see you later concerning me and farming. As to whatever happened to the family farm, I did sell it, and I sold it to two folks who are interested in living a rural lifestyle. Part of the land went to a fella who is a Marine veteran, or in the Marines rather, will be a veteran when he gets out. And being a former military man myself, I can understand the want to come out and have land and have some elbow room and some space, and I get that. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. The other part of the land went to a guy who wanted to get into farming. I've been mentoring him, trying to get him more information and learn, help him learn about, what it takes to farm and how to work cows, and share as much of my knowledge that I can share. And he would not have had, especially with interest rates in 2023 being what they are throughout the year. I mean, we had some record interest rates this year. The interest rates being what they are, he could never afford this on the open economy. And the opportunity that he has is something, especially with me working with him, it's an opportunity for him for sure to get into farming and to grow his operation and to expand his operation, and to do so with the help of a guy who has been through it, who kind of knows some of the tricks of the trade, grew up with it. And so I think he's very thankful as well. And I haven't, I'm still close to him. He's actually one of my good friends. So, I come down there and help him work cows, and I get to have my hands dirty a little once in a while as well, working cows and doing some of the things I used to do. It's not exactly the same, but it helps. So that pretty much is why I ended up getting out of farming. I am now, I guess, what they call a recovering farmer. And I'll be shifting gears in life and in my social media channels to cover more of what I'm up to nowadays, and to share a little bit of aspects of my life, where I'm at now, what I'm doing now, and to kind of share the wild world inside of my head. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be reminded whenever new videos of mine come out. Just stand by. There'll be a lot of new and exciting content coming out here shortly. Thank you for watching.